The silence. Was it hard? Was it difficult? Did it feel awkward? Were you wondering if Father lost his tongue, wasn't able to speak? Was he trying to say something maybe that was hard or difficult and couldn't get the words out? Listening. Sometimes it's so difficult in our world today. It's one of the tragedies of our modern life. It's listening because it's become so difficult. God has too much competition. There's the earbuds, the iPads, the iPhones, the Androids. And that's just the electronics. Then you have your boss at work. You have your neighbor next door to you. Someone screaming at you as you're driving down the road. And like Martha, we're worried and we're anxious about many things today. The mortgage, the weird noise that the car is making and you're wondering where it's coming from. Skyrocketing debt, school tuition, inflation, food costs, gas prices out of control. Yes, we're all anxious and we're all worried about many things. But we can't forget to listen. We can't forget to listen to God. Listen for the voice that spoke to Mary, the voice that spoke to Moses, the voice that spoke to countless believers and seekers across the centuries down through history. The voice that said, be still and know that I am God. Be not afraid. There's wonder and beauty in striving to hear God speak and taking the time and trouble to just simply listen. But it's so hard. It's so hard. Listening, in fact, might be considered a key theme in Luke's gospel that we've been reading from these past several months. It begins with Zechariah listening to an angel. It begins with a young woman by the name of Mary praying in the temple in silence and listening. It begins with Joseph listening to an angel telling him to take the child and his mother and to flee for safety. It begins with shepherds out in a desert listening as angels speak to them. And decades later, there are throngs who listen to Jesus on hillsides, on seashores, those who are hungry, those who need him on his journey, and they discover the truth about Jesus because they took the time to listen to him. When our previous Pope, Joseph Ratzinger, was elected Pope, he chose for his name and his patron a saint who revolutionarized the whole country of Europe by writing what was called a rule of life. And it began with a very simple word: listen. Listen. Listen, the rule of St. Benedict begins, incline the ear of the heart. 20 centuries ago, in a town in Bethany, a young woman did just that. And as Jesus said, she chose the better part. Are we taking the time today to sit in silence and just listen to God? It might be odd at first. It might be hard, but you know what? That's where God speaks to us most, in the silence. Give it a try this next week. Maybe just take 5 minutes and sit in silence and listen to God, and you might be surprised what he's trying to tell you this next week. Let's listen.